Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Sasha Baron Cohen, Joseph Gordon Levitt, Michael Keaton. That's right. I'm talking about Frank Langula. Sorry, I'm bad at this. I'm talking about the trial of the Chicago 7. Oh. And if you saw my glasses, then you know that I've got. If you could see under my glasses, which I guess you can, but they're a little wet under there. It took me like at least 3 hours to watch this movie because I kept on going back and watching things, and it's getting me a little bit worried, to be honest, because I'm like, wait, what have I said? Am I like a bad citizen? And and then but then there's um the whole thing, and I mean, I don't know what the laws are like everywhere, but the idea of freedom kind of like comes out of the lore of what American history is. I think that we can all kind of respect that in the same way that, like, I mean, there's many countries that like end up inciting some sort of revolution, and it is one of those things where no matter how much you try and like keep it whatever, I don't know, you can't control every person, and the kind of the great point to their end is look at the number of people whose lives are lost. And honestly, like, I really feel strongly about this, the way that friends of mine have been affected, and knowing the number of like deaths and just how crazy it is. Even the stuff that people are on when they're like trying to get off heroin or something. You know what I mean? But like the stuff that the opioid crisis, the whole thing. It's like, um, I don't know. It's like that with guns too. Like they produce a certain amount, and like it's sort of like, you know how it's commonly understood that businesses, sort of, I think it's like it's taught in school too. Like there's spoilage is what they call it, and um, you kind of, that gets absorbed in there with like thieving and whatever else, and like freaking, if you're running a restaurant, your employees eating whatever garbage, whatever, you kind of know that stuff like that's gonna happen, where it's like, you buy some stuff and it's like there's, oh, okay, cool, yeah, like we're tossing out the gravy at the end of the night or something like that, and you like give yourself a ladle full. Like, is that worse than putting, instead of putting it in your body? It's like, I mean, I guess it depends on what employer you have, but when I did that, the manager that I had knew that we did that. He didn't care. Like, he would see us going off to whatever else. Like, he, you know what I mean? Like, he was like, hey guys, don't, hey, last time you did, don't do any of that. You know what I mean? So, what am I trying to say? The trial of Chicago 7. So, yeah, and it's like, obviously all of this stuff is coming out at perfect timing because it's like cool to protest now or whatever. But then like it gets into that whole thing where you're like, wait, so is that like frowned upon? Are protests? Are we? How else do we use our voice if it doesn't seem like anything's listening and things are stepping away from like even the goodness of what Canada was when we were growing up? Like the health system is different, and like nothing like new and beneficial that in my life I've definitely learned that people who have been through stuff and like have learned certain things are much easier to deal with than people who haven't learned those skills to cope, and maybe they haven't been through the like crazy thing that changes their life yet and allowed themselves to like see the error of their ways, so to speak, like recheck yourself every once in a while. Because the world can be hard. You can get a freaking lashing, man. Sometimes you just need some time to let it digest and realize that like sometimes this stuff isn't totally intentional, and everybody's doing the best they can, you'd hope, but then at the same time it's like you you know of these whole things where like, and it doesn't necessarily mean that every country's like that, but there's a decent amount of like handshaking in the back to like get certain things passed or whatever else, or like people have a plan and have this idea in their head that because these some ideas that me and many people think about are viewed as like, because it's helping like services to the community that have like huge amount of health precedent, that like if we are going to take care of our citizens, especially during this time, there is going to need like people to help organize to help people get certain things done, or to have someone to talk to. I mean, I think that hopefully by the end of this year everybody kind of starts evening out, but it's not working. It's you know, we've been trying this experiment for a while, and I think that more education, not, I was gonna say starting with yourself, but like, but yeah, I mean, what better way to where to start, unless you want to start at the skies or cells or whatever. And like, really, who really cares about the politics of who brought on this virus to begin with, when it has allowed us to be able to like figure out a sense of self, and everybody be able to find a way to know what to cherish and respect, and sort of like, it's, I don't know, it's at least here it's cool for people to like buy stuff at the farmers market and like get organic produce and stuff like that, like sent to the house or pick up. It's pretty common, which is kind of cool, because that hasn't been like a super, I mean, we've got Mennonites all around, but like all these new services and stuff like that, it's kind of cool to see. Um, but yeah, like I don't know if this is something that is even something that we need to approach the government anymore. If, like, put up your hand if you know business stuff, right? Like, you don't go to the person that you need help from with nothing. You show them, like, kind of a working model already. So if there was a working model, if there's people that are interested in the, like, psychology, and like I mean, I don't know, like if you're an energy person, Reiki, or a shaman person, we'll get a bunch of interesting, intelligent people in an area, and then people can come to that space and get advice and decide, like, they could do a little bit, dip their toes in, or they could move right in and like help out with what we need to do on the land to keep ourselves afloat and fed and happy and whatever else. Like my prime minister, I actually, the Mennonites, this is like the no war thing or something. I think that's why they shave their mustache. It has something to do with like the reason for sort of the original the year cutoff or whatever. It's like that is kind of a protest of a lot of what was going on. So I'm sure that there is some truth to that. But I didn't want to get rid of my neck beard because I didn't want to trim it everywhere. I was just like a little bit lazy, and then it just kind of happened the way it did, and I was like, oh, that's funny. I'm gonna keep that for a while. So, yeah, but I'm very tired. I guess this was my review of that movie. You're silly for not watching. Maybe that's the title for it.